Hello, guys. You are here with Mrs. H, who is Andy's wife, and with me is...
Hi, guys. My name is Andy.
Yes, welcome to another episode of...
Can we talk?
Yeah, Can We Talk? So, there's a story that came to my mind before I introduce today's topic.
Right.
It's a very common story, but today I saw it in a different way.
All right.
So a story is told of a donkey. I don't know what the donkey was doing, but what I know is it fell into a well, and the owner was trying to remove it from that well, but he couldn't. So what they did was they started shoveling. Is it shoveling soil into the well? You know the story, right? And so the donkey, I'm only assuming because donkeys don't communicate. I'm assuming that at that point it was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I'm going to be buried alive. But then it thought of a solution.
Right.
So as they were shoveling soil into the well, it was shaking off the soil and then step onto the soil until it got to the top of the well. So today, I was thinking about hope in a hopeless situation.
Wow.
So you are thinking, I'm being buried alive.
Yeah.
This is the end of the road. Or this is the end of my career. This is the end of my life. But in it, there is always something that can come out of it.
Wow.
So hope in a hopeless situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow. That's a very interesting topic that you brought up today. And especially for us who are in the faith.
Yeah.
And we encounter so many different stories out there, and we are supposed to then bring hope. As much as our faith, as people of faith, we have to give hope.
Yeah.
But because of the role that we play in society, you and I both, we've got to have that extra edge.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's quite a very good discussion topic today for us to unpack as well.
Yeah. And I was also reminded of the series that connected us when we met. Suits.
Okay, all right.
So there's a guy who was called Harvey Specter, and he always his mantra was, "There's a way out.
Yeah.
There's always a way out.
Right.
You cannot be cornered. If there's a corner, well, find a way.
Yeah.
Either you shoot the other person, but there's always a way.
Yeah.
So when we say is there hope in a hopeless situation? That is what comes to mind, that there is always a way out. We are always thinking I'm blocked, or there is nothing that I can do, but there is always a way out. So have you ever been in that kind of a situation where you felt like that was the end of the road when you were in that season, but you only appreciated when you had come out of a season that there is always a way out?
Definitely. I think for many people in our country who then identify with this, especially when there is more month that left than money.
Say that again.
There's more month left than money. So I remember, we used to get what they'll call a cost of living allowance and adjustment, and so groceries and so on. And so we spent all our money, or at least I spent all our money on payday, thinking that in 2 weeks we were going to receive something.
Yeah.
And no communication came from the employer to say we are receiving nothing. You are not receiving anything. Yeah. And I had blown one day in a holiday 2 weeks before. So I'll take the family out, spend,
hoping that
practically, thinking knowing rather that in 2 weeks there should be cost of living.
Makes a plan.
There should at least be communication ahead of time to say, no, guys, at the beginning of the month or in 2 weeks' time, there won't be any cost of living adjustment. Yo, bro, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst. And you're counting down the days to 25 days to payday, and you have no idea how you're going to say, that really was a real stretch for me. And you actually have no plan, and you don't have like a side hustle to say, all right, I'll do this, I do that. At least it will give me, I think that was one of the worst seasons. It was, I don't know how we got through, how we saw the season through or the month through, but that was terrible for me.
I mean, it's very interesting that you brought about the situation that we're living in our beautiful nation. I almost said rainbow nation. That is not ours. But our beautiful nation. Because we're always crying. We are always complaining. There's always something that brings people down. When we wake up in the morning, the rate has changed, or they slashed down the zeros, and now you have to calculate how is what. But in it, you don't, you find someone who's flourishing. You find someone who's building.
Precisely.
You find someone who's buying a car. Who's opening a new business.
Yeah,
and you're
you
like,
can say that again. How in the same economy? You can say
I think it's a mindset thing. So we have to adjust our minds and come to a position where we say there is always hope in a hopeless situation, where you feel like this money is not going to take me through the month. Find hope in that. Yesterday, on Monday, we were having a conversation. Well, let me just say, on this other day, because it's going to be uploaded on a different day. But we had a conversation with someone who was encouraging us to be grateful in every situation. Because the truth is, in life, there's always something to cry about. There's rent money is not enough. There's someone who is stepping on your toes. But in it,
there's
find something that you can be grateful for. I mean, the sun came out in the morning and you experienced that. Is that not a reason enough for us to be grateful and say, Lord, thank you for yet another opportunity, to go into the world and experience the purpose that you have for me in life. And we have seen people, we interact with a lot of people. We've seen friends starting businesses. And you ask, how are you making it? They are in the same economy. It's not like the money is raining elsewhere. They're in the same economy. So hence, I'm saying, I think we need a mind shift. Yes, we need to change the way we think and see hope where there is no hope.
Where it's seemingly hopeless.
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that's food for thought for me. I think as one of the facilitators in this episode, I myself need to have a mind renewal. Because like I said, that experience was tough. It was quite tough for me. Sometimes you actually even have physical pain. You don't know why, but it's just that physical pain because of the strenuous thoughts or that you've been going through. Because it's quite difficult, to be honest. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts? How can we then change our minds, for example? So I started off by saying we are people of faith, but also the role that we have in society being ministers of the gospel. If when people come to you, how easy is that for you to tell somebody, first change your mind? When somebody's like, I lost my job.
Your mind, do it with your mind.
How easy or how practical is that?
Well, it's not really easy. But it's a matter of identifying what they can do with that situation. So they lost their job. What opportunity is there?
Right.
So it's not for them to wake up in the morning, cry about what happened yesterday. It's for them to wake up in the morning and tell themselves it's another opportunity to start afresh. And look for something new. I know it's easy to say, but when you're in the situation, you don't really think about it that way. But taking from the scripture again, the verse that I love so much, Proverbs 3 verse 5, says, lean not on your understanding, because the understanding of men is very shallow. It's very limited. We see what we see now. But the mindset of God sees beyond what we see. It sees our tomorrow. It sees our future. It sees, bigger than what we always think. So when we let go of self and let God, as people usually say, let go and let God. We are saying, I know in my mind, I'm thinking I've lost a job, but I know that your plans are greater than what I'm seeing. So open opportunities, open doors. And it might not take, it may take a year because God has a sense of humor. Maybe in it, he is saying, think about it this way. Maybe in it, God is saying, you have not been fruitful in this job that you have been working in. So I'm giving you a push.
Wow.
And you are at the verge of giving up, or you're always frustrated at work. So I'm pushing you to learn how to fly. So in that situation, flap your wings, start flying. You're not meant to be employed. You're actually meant to be an employer. You know, so that's my thought. But when it's happening, I want to acknowledge this, lest I be quoted.
Yes, and I'm big on that.
I'm saying we encounter different seasons in life, but let's not dwell on that. Let's not lose hope when we are in those situations. Let's find a way out of those situations. It could be something that is way better than what we were thinking of ourselves. Maybe it's God saying, that is not who I've called you to be. You are in this job, or let's say, okay, fine, you're an entrepreneur and you are doing whatever you are sewing, and somehow things are falling apart, or people are not ordering from you. What if God is saying, that is not what I called you to do. You are actually not supposed to sew, or whatever you're sewing. You are supposed to be something different.
It's actually interesting because I had a conversation with a friend of mine recently, and you know how when you're getting into such situations, you want to pray, but God, I've been your faithful servant all this while, and so on. So he was quoting his pastor. And he says, his pastor says he felt like the Lord was saying to him that, can I be the one who judges faithfulness? Like, wow, that changed everything for him to say, wow. So I'm just piggybacking on that to say, wow, while we may be in seemingly hopeless situation and how to find hope, some of these prayers to say, but I have been faithful all my life. They say, how do you know? The Lord is
maybe
the one.
You're the last one to come at church. No, I'm joking.
But you're doing things to be seen by men. Early is just so that you can be seen, but there is no relationship. And so in that, is that faithfulness or unfaithfulness? So like it kind of sobered me. We're in the middle of the street and they're like, oh wow. So you're saying like he too has changed his prayers because we were speaking on both our projects. We both running projects that are capital intensive. And so I was, forgive me, but I was crying and complaining to say, it's in this month, it's been 6 months, I haven't done anything of that project. And it's painful and it's strenuous. And when people are asking, how far with this project? And he too has just launched out something into his business and is paying rentals. And so I'm saying, how is business? How is the new site? And you're like, yay, it's a work of faith and we don't know, So sometimes business may not be coming in. How are you going to meet rent? We have a target with our own project to say in so many months' time, and it's seemingly like there is nothing that is happening. So you get tempted to say, but God, I've been faithful. I've been doing your work, and you can want to list all these things. I like that parable that Jesus gave about the Pharisee and the publican. We always put the Pharisee in a bad way. But sometimes, have you ever got to that place where you genuinely have been faithful, fasted 4 times a week, you give tithes of all your income, and you pray every morning and every evening, and then things are not working out. So you always have to try and find hope, even in seemingly hopeless situation. It's not always easy.
And I'm reminded of a story that is in the Bible of a man called Job, who even God said, have you seen, he was speaking to Lucifer, and he says, have you seen my servant Job? Which means God was taking pride in this man. He was doing so well that he wanted everyone to know about him. And you know how our parents, when when they are working with their friends, do you know my daughter? She is in this profession. And that is what the picture that I'm getting about God when he speaks about Job. He's speaking from a point of being, he's a proud dad. He's seeing his servant who is standing on him all the time. But in that, even in the midst of that, God takes away all the things that Job had.
Right.
And we may start to think, even the wife came and say, hey, there's no hope. There is no hope.
Yeah.
So we have people that may come even in our lives and they say, bruh, there's no hope here. Give up, let go, But what if in that situation, there is a way out? Or when you come back, God is going to give you more than what you heard. Because that is what happened to Job. He received more than what he initially had.
Okay, no, that's fine. Very tough discussion that we're having. I thought it was going to be easy, but like in theory, it sounds so easy. But when you're walking in somebody says, I lost my job and I don't know where the next meal is going to come from.
Right.
And here you are, you're the minister, and you say, cheer up, God loves you, have hope, tomorrow will be a brighter day. It's quite difficult. But I like the encouragement that we always need to be. And so I think, like we were told the other day by the friend of ours, that so find something to be positive about. You've got a connection, a relationship, a network of people.
You're not alone.
You're not alone in the situation. They can help you carry. But okay, what would you say then if it was something chronic? For example, like a chronic illness, and then you hear a news of a chronic illness. I'm just reminded of somebody who did their best in life. And, they don't have they don't have some of these, stories that we hear, but they just lived a nice life. And unfortunately, then they got diagnosed with a chronic illness. How would you end it? Seemingly like a death sentence. Even if it's not instant, but I guess in your mind as well. And you'll be having all these questions. How would you then encourage somebody to say, but I was faithful in this. I did this. I did my part to the best of my abilities. But then I've just been diagnosed with this. What would you say?
I have a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, who was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
And I like how she changed the situation around. We are all expecting tears. We are expecting, someone who is, losing hope. She is still going to work.
Wow.
She is still working. When I say she's still working, I mean she is. It's as if nothing happened to her. In the midst of that, she was going for chemo. At some point, she had lost her hair, all those things. But she didn't lose hope. She was still moving on. And the best thing that she did, that I'm still applauding her about, is that she started a foundation.
Wow.
Yes. And it's doing so well.
Wow.
She is now connected with doctors. She is now... So I think in that situation, my advice would be how to turn every situation around. Find something that you can do. There is no mistake with God. There is never a day where God is going to say, oops, I didn't see that coming. He knew that this person is going to be diagnosed with cancer, but they're going to conquer. And how are they going to conquer? They're going to share their story with other people. They are going to encourage other people that are in the same situation. Maybe, I'm not saying it is that. Maybe, what if the people that were in that same circle, people that were diagnosed with breast cancer, were suffering so much, crying just like the children of Israel. And God said, let me send a Moses. And that Moses was that friend of mine who had to get into that community and encourage, because she's been encouraging. I heard that there's another neighbor who was not feeling well, the same diagnosis. Sorry. she went to her and she started encouraging her, and that neighbor was encouraged. So find something that you can do with that. It's not for you to lose hope. We don't get into situations for us to just give up, but we get into situations to start afresh. So how can you start afresh? Find something that you can do. You can encourage someone. You can start a foundation. You can, you can get other people that are in the same space, because now you can connect with
and
them.
Identify with what they're doing.
It cannot be about the same problem, but it can be something different. Maybe share the word of God with them. It's an opportunity for you to continue doing the work that the Lord has touched you with, but it's in a different level.
Okay. All right. And one or two more questions. I'm not sure if it's common in our side of the hemisphere or this side of the world, but do you think quote and unquote AA kind of meetings will help, or those kind of things to say, I'm struggling with this? It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be an illness. Remember, we were watching a TV show and these people had a chronic illness and they came together. They were meeting every so often. I see it happening in social spaces. So it could be a community hall, even hiring out church facilities or church premises. Do you think those kind of discussions help? Or do you think one could then start a group discussion like that to be able to give, encouragement and hope to people? So even if it's whatever thing, but those AA kind of setup meetings, do you think those things work?
If people in the corporate world can meet and share about their businesses, and it gives them a kind of a solution. If people in the same faith can meet on every Sunday and they share about their faith, and then it takes them somewhere. Surely meeting on the same situation that people are in can give them something, hope. It can give them solutions, because I've heard, especially women, they love prescribing different things. Do you have this problem? Okay, you can go and take this. Boil cooking oil with what? So those are the solutions that you can get from people that are going through the same situation, or that are in the same situation that you are in. So I would say that I think AA meetings work. Not AA, but
quote and unquote.
Yes.
Okay.
I think they really do work. You find help.
So perhaps we should then be, I'm not sure, maybe a takeaway for me to then encourage those kind of spaces using the influence of, like I keep saying, that of the roles that we do in society. Maybe then create space for people then to talk about some of the challenges, because people really are, as you interact, people are really going through the most out there.
Indeed.
And so when you create maybe a platform, but like I said, I only see it in the movies. I'm not sure if we do have such spaces here on this side.
I mean, we can start such a space with not the platform necessarily, but maybe have like a sit down kind of a meeting, and we talk about things that are happening in the society. And here, you never know. The next person might have gone through that years back, and they have a perfect solution. Like one good friend of ours told us that you don't really have to go through 10 years of trying, but why not use what I use?
Experience.
Something that I have tried out. So I say that works. And if you are to give advice to someone who is struggling, who is saying, I'm cornered, I don't even know what to do, I am giving up on life, or I'm giving up on this job, I'm giving up on my family, how would you advise them in the same vein of hope in a hopeless situation?
I'll take it from a line from one of the Tyler Perry movies that I saw, that when you wake up in the morning, write down the good things that you should be grateful for, that you are happy for, or what good thing is happening in your life, even if you're not necessarily grateful for it, but what is the one thing? And then you begin to meditate on those things. So meditate on the three things, find community, you find the space, find things that cheer you up. So even if you feel cornered, reach out, open up. I'm not saying share on social media, but we need to have these platforms where you're able to open up and to be able to kind of share.
Yeah.
And I am sure people will be out there, and I don't think taking your own life is a solution or is an answer, regardless of how tough it is. Situations may be tough, it may be seemingly hopeless, but there is always hope.
Yeah, I would like to borrow a statement that you were that was shared with you at some point in your life. You always talk about it in different circles, and it says that. It says the world is a better
place.
Yes, so I want to change it a bit and say the world is definitely a better place because you were born. Wow. So whoever is listening, the world is a better place because you were born. Oh, wow. This is another episode of Can We Talk?